Hi, I'm Michael, and I'd like to introduce you to Pyxel Edit Tilemap Importer for Unity. Now, this is the Pyxel Edit program. You'll need this program in order to take advantage of the importer because it's designed to import tile maps from Pyxel Edit, hence the name. So, this is Pyxel Edit. It's a great little tile editing program. I really like it. What's some of the really cool things about it is you can go in and you can make changes to individual tiles, and when you do, it will apply it to all the other tiles, which I really quite like. Make one little change and you can see it across every single tile in this entire map that you're working in. Now I wanted to make it really easy to take all these different tiles and bring them into Unity for production use. Now, you can take advantage of layer system on the layer system it has, of course. So I have the props on one layer, I have enemies on another layer, foreground on a layer, and the background on a layer. And I've built all these tiles that are going to be used. Actually, I kind of just imported some of them from other things that I've done. Any case, what you do is you'll export a tile set, and this will export all these tiles over here. You'll choose a place to save it. As you can see, I've already saved it out. So when you save it, it'll replace it, and then you've got that. The other thing you'll need in order to use this is to export what's called a tile map. A tile map, let's just choose which layers we're going to export out. Now I don't need my notes layer because my notes layer is just like design notes that I drew into the level for my own personal use. So I'm not going to export that data, but I'm going to export out all my enemies, props, foreground, and background. And you got to make sure you select JSON as your file format. It's very important for my importer to have JSON for the format, or else it won't be able to bring in the information. So when you save it out, it'll save it out into a .json file of your name of choosing. I'm using Paladin Palace, that's why I decided to name this little dungeon that I made. And you'll just click save, and then you'll have it saved over. You'll bring both of these two files into Unity. I already have them over here. The one will appear as kind of like a text file is what it will look like, and the other one will appear like your normal images do. And then once you bring it in, you're going to want to go through and name all your sprites, and then make prefabs of them all. I've already got prefabs made of all of these because I used my sprite prefab tool to convert them all for me. So once you have that, you can just bring in a game object and attach the tile importer script to it. And then I'll usually just lock it and then bring over all the prefabs. It'll ask for some JSON data, and that needs to be this right here. It'll ask for a pixels per unit amount. That's going to be for your texture. It's going to be whatever you put for your pixels per unit in here. I have mine set to 100. In my production I actually use 16, but 100 is the default that comes in. So I set everything to use the defaults. The last thing it asks for is a padding value. Now padding is the spacing between each of your sprites. And when you originally go to export out your tile map, your tile set, it lets you have a tile padding pixels. I usually use 2 because if you have 0, it can create weird edges in your pixels and it will look bad on screen. So I usually at least recommend having 2. You can do more, of course. I'm not going to stop you. But as long as you set it, then when you're inside the editor over here, you need to make sure the Tilemap importer has the same amount of padding, or else it's not going to be able to import the tiles correctly. Once you have all that in place, all you have to do is just click here and click import. And what it's going to do is it's going to make prefab install